Welcome back, folks. My guest, Ned Dougherty, talking about the New World Order and some other interesting events. I do have another email I want to read, but folks, I want to refer something to you. Fast Lane to Heaven. I keep promoting this book because it's a fascinating book. But just so, again, you understand, Ned started writing this book in 1995, from what I understand, Ned. Right. He published it in March of 2001. It was already published. So if you get the book, I want you to remember these numbers, page 249 of the book, okay? And this is the part of the book that the chapter is called The Future. And if you go to that, then you'll understand why Ned keeps coming back on the show and we keep talking about different things. Dear Sam, hi Sam, I watched a show in which your guest was Ned Dougherty. I have read his book several times over, and I keep going back to it to read different sections. I applaud you for allowing Ned to appear on your show and to discuss issues concerning this New World Order. Bush Sr. talked about this in his inaugural address, but I wonder how many people really paid attention to what he said during his address. People have become so apathetic that I do not believe they realize what is happening, and they need to open their eyes before it is too late. It is amazing as to how many people can be misled. The bigger the lie, the more people believe it. Let me repeat that. The bigger the lie, the more people believe it. Now, I know some of you Obama people are bouncing on your seats right now. Didn't say he lied, but I'm just quoting what he said, or what she said. So she goes on to say that she would like to look more in your DVDs, etc. But getting back to that situation, is so the whole thing, Ned, is this. What are you trying to accomplish by, you coming on the Sam Lesante show, by you having all the lectures and sermons that you're having and all your newsletters, and what are you trying to accomplish? That was asked me a number of times. Sam, all right, we understand, but what does he want us to do?
Right. Well, Sam, first of all, as you know, I have no political axe to grind, Republican or Democrat, liberal or conservative. Let's go back to the origin of this mission that I believe I have, if you will. I had two near-death experiences back on July 2nd, 1984, and on November 30th, 1984. And in both of those, I had visions of the future. And I came back with information from them, and I was clinically dead in an ambulance. I was in respiratory and/or cardiac arrest for over an hour and 6 minutes in that first experience. And medical doctors to this day cannot explain how I could have possibly been in that condition and revived and have come back. So science can't explain it, medicine can't explain it. Perhaps an understanding of the spiritual nature of ourselves can't explain it, because this was a spiritual experience that I have. So this is a spiritual journey. It's not a political journey. It's not a conspiracy theory journey. It's a journey to ask your viewers, in this case, to make your own judgments, not based on what I have to say or email responses that may be in favor or against what I have to say, but encourage you, do your own research. Go to the internet with discernment, with prayerful discernment. And I'm going to give you some items to look up, to web search right now in this journey. And the first is the Council on Foreign Relations, which we talked about before. This is the organization or group within the United States that David Rockefeller has a very powerful influence over. Study the Council on Foreign Relations and in relationship to the New World Order. Then you want to also look up the Trilateral Commission. The Trilateral Commission was formed by David Rockefeller and Zbigniew Brzezinski. Zbigniew Brzezinski is probably the most powerful and most dominant advisor of President Barack Obama, as he was to President Jimmy Carter. David Rockefeller and Zbigniew Brzezinski have been partners in forming the Trilateral Commission, which is part of the New World Order. You also want to look up the Bilderberger Group. The Bilderberg Group is also an international secretive organization that has global meetings and meets to plan the future of the world, also in the program of the New World Order, along with groups like the Trilateral Commission and the Council on Foreign Relations. And if you decide to start putting together the names of the members of each of these organizations, you'll see that their names crisscross a number of times. They all belong to the same groups, the same organizations. You also want to look up the Illuminati, and that is a very curious occult organization that was started back on May 1st in 1776. It is an organization that was started by a former Jesuit priest who became a satanic worshiper and started satanic cult worship back in that time. He integrated with the House of Rothschild. He was financed and influenced by the House of Rothschild, which is the European banking group, which later on also became involved with the Rockefellers and their banking here in this country. So if you web search the Illuminati, and again do your research, you're going to even find a satanic, Luciferian, evil influence behind this power and control. And ultimately, what is this all really about? It's about people who are motivated by materialism and greed, Sam, and it's this materialism and greed which is frankly ruining the world right now.
So basically, Ned, you know, you don't have any axe to grind here, do you? I mean, you don't have any, like you said, you don't have any political...
You know, Sam, my journey is a spiritual journey. I don't think of myself as political in nature. But when I had the first experience back in July 2nd, 1984, now we're talking almost 25 years ago, the first notes that I wrote that a New World Order of very powerful leaders will attempt to take over the financial and banking institutions of the world to create a one world government, a one world order, a one world currency, and a one world bank. And right now, if you web search, for example, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, you see the connections back to the Rockefeller families, back to the House of Rothschild, and you connect the dots on your own, viewers. You will come to your own conclusions, and again, I say with prayerful discernment. And what you will start to paint for yourself is your own picture of how things really work in the world, as opposed how we are misled to believe that they work. And the reason we're misled is because the same people who exercise so much power and control also have that power and control over their interlocking ownerships and directorships of the major media conglomerates in the world, which includes, therefore, the major publishers. All of our textbooks, Sam, when we were young kids, our textbooks that taught us about history and politics and economics, for example, were written by professors who were funded by this same group way back then. These groups go back in an organized sense as far as 1913. The Council on Foreign Relations was created in 1921. And it was during the 1920s that these powerful individuals gained control, first of all the newspapers, which is the source of communication back then. But those same companies, the original companies, are now the 6 or 7 major conglomerates that provide all sources of news for us.
Folks, I'm going to take a break and come back. I want to find out, I want to mention a couple things as to, are we all stupid? Or is this a good thing? Be back right after this.